Right, we are live. Hello! Welcome back to the Anki Music live stream for week 9, 10, 11? No, it's not 11. 9 or 10. Either way, it's been too long. It's been way too long. Welcome back. I've decided every week we're just going to listen to that piece of music for just a bit longer every time until everyone's tolerances is back up to scratch because I just love how just so stupid it is. So stupid. It's very nice. Welcome to the stream where we just make random music and talk shit for an hour and a half. We also get to listen to some unreleased music, which is very exciting, and just see what happens. So last week we made some kind of weird 95 BPM Chainsmokers ripoff. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. I think we take the energy up this week. I did promise, I think it was Renix in the chat last week, that we would make some dark drum and bass. However, watching it back, the week before, I had promised we'd do some melodic dubstep, so I'm one request behind. So next week, it is dark drum and bass time. This week, I believe it's time to take this BPM counter up to 150 and see what's what. So let's get started on some kick drums. Let's see. Yo, we have a name that I cannot possibly pronounce, so I'm just going to say what's in brackets. Vigion, hello, good evening, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you in here on this fine day. And what a day! What a day for nerds, man. Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer, the Nintendo Switch, Logan, which doesn't look terrible. Not quite in the caliber of the other two, but goddamn, man, Nintendo Switch. I am feeling it. Didn't think I would be. I really thought, after all these months and months of the NX, that I just wouldn't be interested. But you know what? Credit to them. I'm kind of on board. Kicked. Not quite as enamored as most other people on the internet, mind you, but I'm definitely interested. Right price point, good games, and I'm in. I think we go with Kick 8. Kick 8 is a decent start, but tell you what I want to do. I think what I want to do is layer this up with like a live kind of sounding kick. But first things first, let's get compressing. Let's see what's going on. Tapalo is back. Hey man, what is good? Lovely to see you back here again for, oh God, so many weeks in a row. You are far too hardcore for me, man. Well done. How do you put up with me, dude? Seriously. I'm just this weird pasty white ginger guy just yelling at you through the internet. Right, let's go ahead and get some punch out of this bad boy. That'll probably do. I think that's where that is. There we go. And let's scoop it out in the middle. There we go. If you have never seen these streams before, if you're brand new, feel free to yell anything you want at me in the chat, and we will have a little chat and see what is going on about life. I can't talk today, Jesus Christ. I'm really quite scrambled brain-wise. Wasn't here for a few streams. I am terribly sorry about that. Dude, don't be sorry, it's fine. It's lovely that you are here. Honor to have you back, to be honest with you, man. Oh, that's nice. That's got a little bit of... That's got some punch to it. However, I'm thinking that might be a little bit too much high-end. Oh yeah, look at this. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Also a bit too high, so I'm just going to take down in tone. That's cool. That's a little bit more weighty, but we're just going to bring off all of this. That's a little nicer. There we go, that's better. And I think we're going to stack this with like a live kick sound, so I'm just going to go to my sample gathering library and see what's going on over here. Sample gathering. It's my little cheat sheet folder. Let's go with big kick's pretty big. There we go, that's nice. That's a good sound. However, transient is way out of whack, so I've got to fix that. Disable the stretch, and let's just take it... Let's take it to here. That would probably work. Likewise with this kick, I want that to be a bit cleaner. So that should hit together. Yeah, that's a nice sound. Good, 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 good. This is going to be a lovely little dubstep kick. 102 now in Japan. Jesus, man, get some rest. What are you doing? I mean, I'm very grateful for you staying up and listening to me, but, oh, I'm not worth it, frankly. Right, let's go ahead and low pass this a little bit and scoop out some of this nonsense. There we go, a little bit more of a high pass. And then what I want to do is give you a little bit of room reverb, I think, before we bust this together. Let's go ahead and put the... Yeah, let's put DR1 on it. Nope. Why would I do that? That's an incredibly long reverb. I'm going to go ahead and put the SAR1 on it. That's a much better idea. Let's bring that out a bit, keep it neutral, bring the dry wet down to about 20, and we should have a nice little bit. Yeah, that's a fucking nice sound. Ooh, that's a nice sound. That's cool. Still too loud though in comparison with our original kick. Yeah, that's a little better. Much preferring that. Right, snare time. As everyone knows, a good melodic dubsteppy track lives and dies on its snare. So let's see what happens. think we can start with something like quite full of body. Let's go to my hybrid pack. Let's see what's in here. They're all quite like high pitched. I'm not sure about that. Eagle HBB is back in. Anki with a heart. Right back at you, buddy. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out with me and making some weird music. Right. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about these. I mean, I made them all, so I do like them all. Not sure they're going to be the right kind of fit for this. Snare 10 could work. Snare 10 could work. We'll run with this, but we'll just drape it in noise as well. So for starters, you know what we have to do to this snare, because it's 2016. Can't have a single element in our song uncompressed, because that would be just a heinous crime. Let's go ahead and bring the bias up to focus on attack and boost down here. Only a smidge though, because it's already got quite a bit of body. Then we're just going to cut some of this nonsense out on another EQ and cut some of the crazy highs, because this can get a little nasty around about 5. We don't want that. There we go. And we're just going to go ahead and low pass off the extremities. Make sure we've shelled it a little bit. There we go. That'll be a nice punchy little snare. Cool. That is nice, to be fair. But this needs noise. This is a little bit too short and sharp. Short and sweet. It's not what we want. Let's go ahead and add on some noise. Favorite samples. Right. Everyone cover your ears for this, because this is horrible. It's so loud as well. It's horrible. I'm sure I made a beautiful face just then, so please, please God, nobody screen cap that. I still have standards. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. There aren't a lot of pictures of me on the internet. I don't take many pictures of myself. The ones that are there are absolutely vile. So let's not make that another one, shall we? Right, let's high pass all of this up here. We want this to be like the kind of nice high end of our snare, but we don't want it too prevalent in this 4K range again, because as we always say, the old phrase, fuck 4K. Right, let's go ahead and reverb this out so it's kind of got a nice tail on it. Once again, I think we're going to use that SAR, but we're going to take the time way up, leave it on bright mode this time, and a lot more reverb because it's white noise. Then we just take it down on the mixer. Also, we're going to bust these together for our kick, and bust these together. Whoa, nope. Bust these together for our snare. Bam, bam, bam. Good. Nice. This is maybe a little too high pitched. Little better. Little better. I like that. I'm going to put that through the room reverb, that through the plate reverb, and then all of that through the bright room reverb. That's nice. Little bit too high on that snare still. But you know what? This is a stream. We're only making a random track for an hour. I feel like I should just stop being such a perfectionist and just make some music. Right, let's go ahead and arrange these. So we need the snares on the halves because, you know, it's dubstep. We're not going to be... Well, I say dubstep. It's melodic dubstep. We're not going to be very original with this. There we go. Lovely. Tell you what, I'm going to mute that last snare. Oh, crazy. I'm pushing the envelope. What are you making song-wise? Dubstep. It's going to be, yeah. As I said at the start of the stream, I realized a couple of weeks back I promised someone some like nice, pretty melodic dubstep and never delivered whatsoever. Last week we made like this really bad Chainsmokers ripoff for an hour, so not sure that that fulfilled their requirements. So instead, this week we're going to make some nice melodic dubstep instead, which is probably going to land me in better stead with them. Let's see what this drum pattern's looking like. You know, it's boring, but it works. Yeah, I can go with that. And then kind of just complicate it up a little bit, maybe just keep it always on the offbeat all the way through. That could work. Okay, let's go ahead and bring these back a little bit. Oh, there we go. You know what? That's a little rushed at 150, but I'm just gonna leave it like that for a little while, I think. Give the snare some room to breathe though afterwards for sure. Let's take off all the side chaining from here, copy all of this over just to make it quicker. There we go, and then we can have a fill from like here on outwards rather. Like the whole bar? Yeah, whole bar. Why not? Why not? Let's go crazy. Let's take that out. There we go. Let's see where we're at. That's a decent rhythm. That works. Yeah, that's a good little rhythm. Cool. Let's just copy this out into a nice 16-bar phrase, put a block over it because I'm a little bit OCD about that. Ooh, there we go. Loop it, and we have a nice 16-bar phrase that we can start writing with. So make sure our sidechain trigger is popping. There we go. Get that threshold down a little more. You kind of want it to be nice and quick with this kind of style, just all the way down, just absolutely monstrous. There we go. That's what we need. So now we actually need things to sidechain it too. But for starters, I'm just going to add in some cymbals. I'm going to pick random ones. Random is always fun. As we found out last week, we used random junk loops and it was really nice. What's that from VGO? Sorry, I can't speak English. Well, that's okay, man. Don't worry. I understood what you meant. Besides, your English is a hell of a lot better than my Japanese, I guarantee it. Okay, let's dig. 1, 2, 7, 9? 1, 2, 7, 9. All onto one new channel, and we're just going to arrange it randomly. Let's dive in. As I said last week, when you're doing things with percussion, it's actually quite nice to do that. Like, try not to overthink it and just randomly throw things in, because sometimes you end up with really nice loops. This won't be like anything characterful though. This will just be easy. Back and forth. Tell you what, I'm gonna make a dub of this. Quick way of doing this, and just put that over there, and then we're just gonna pan those left and right, and this will be our nice kind of 8th rhythms. Well aware I just said nice with a lisp there, but you know what? We're gonna roll past it because I am garbling. Streaming's very hard. Right, let's go ahead and pan both of you left and right, bust you together into a hat bus, and put this over here, and we're going to tie it all together with a nice main hi-hat. We're going to use our favourite, hat 4. Hat 4 never fails. It's the theme of this stream. I wonder if there's ever been a week where I haven't used this hi-hat. Worth checking. Someone get on that. It's all archived on YouTube. Someone watch through however many hours, like 12 hours worth of streaming, just to see if I've not used this hat one week. Right, let's bring this down, pop you into the hat bus, and bring these down as well, because that'd be crazy loud. And let's level these bastards, shall we? Nice. That's a little better. Let me just quickly do my hat bus processing. This is a nice easy little one. So just going to go ahead and pop on that SAR 1 again, just because I love it, but bring it way down, like super, super quick. Bright, just to make sure we get a nice little sheen out of it. Underneath the 20 mark, around about 15% dry wet. And then just bring up that brightness again with this lovely little shelf EQ. There we go, everything above 10K. Bam. Beautiful. That'll do me. So, now we've actually got to start composing, which could be interesting. How on earth are we going to do this? Let's go ahead and get a... Let's start with a basic pad. Oops. I've pressed the wrong button. That's never a good plan. Pads. Let's go Swarmatron. There we go. Gotta stop playing bingo players, man. Every single week. Okay, let's go ahead and put you through side chaining, bring that down, put you through the plate, and I'm just going to bus you into what will end up being our pad bus. And I might just bring this down a little on the D tune. A little bit more. There we go. Nice groove. Thank you very much. Looks like this is going to turn out okay. I say that, the drums have turned out okay. I have no idea whether or not this song is going to turn out right. For anyone who hasn't seen this before, this is not something that I have worked on during the week, pouring my heart and soul into, my blood, sweat and tears, as it were. This is something we are randomly doodling for an hour and see if anything good can happen. Sometimes it does. Sometimes, like last week, it really, really doesn't. Let's see what's going on. I think we did F minor last week, so let's do G minor this week. Why not? But we don't want to start on the root because that is boring as sin. So I think what we can do is maybe start somewhere. We start on the. Let's start on the 6. Yeah, 6 would work, and then down or up to the 4. That could work. And then I'm thinking maybe 5, because 5 to 6 as a little transition chord is lovely. Okay, so let me just hear where this is at the moment. Whoa, no, didn't mean to do that. Ooh, and then we can go, whoa, no, none of this is helping. There we go. Just go up to the 7, and then land on the 3, and then put the 5 on it. Yeah, that really works. However, I need to double that up because that is super quick. That should be doubled. Yeah, that'll work. That'll be a decent 4, 5, 6, 3. Okay, let's see what is going on. Let's layer these up. Okay, let's take, well, first things first, join them all together because I'm going to do this quickly. Take all of these down. That's better. Can that go lower? Not cleanly. You know what? I don't want to risk it. Let's go ahead and take these all again, and let's put a 5th on this. Nice. Good. And then another 5th? Yeah, another 5th will do. And another 7th. I'm sorry, I know that's just the most horrible sound in the world, but you know what? We can deal with it. Right, let's see what we can do with this. So at the moment we've just got the stock bass and 5th. We need to add some colour to all of these. Right, hilariously terrible sounding. First things first, I want to change up the rhythm before we start doing that. I think we can come in early. So on those kicks, I think that'll solidify the groove a little better. There we go. Because we've managed to like beat the bar to it every single time, so we may as well land the chords on it, right? That's better. Right, same again actually. Let's just keep that as a theme all the way through. I like that. That's a much better idea. Bring this back, take this through. There we go. There we go, and move this over here. No, wait, haven't actually finished the chord sequence yet. That'd be useful to do. Let's check viewers, make sure I haven't left anyone out. See if anyone's lurking and not saying anything. Oh, there is. The Ghost Viewer is in, and of course my lovely manager Wave Music is in the chat. Everyone say hello to Wave if you're in there, because that poor motherfucker has to put up with me on a daily basis being just a useless, tortured artist. Right, let's stack up some chords, shall we? So this is a 6th, right? Yeah, good. Let's have the 2, the 3. Wait, what am I doing here? Sorry, let's go back to the drawing board. That's the 3rd, the 5th, 7, root, 2, 3. I could probably do without the 7. That works, that definitely works. I'm just putting the 7 underneath this one, because this is the 4, which is traditionally a very minor chord in this chord sequence. So let's do the 3rd, 5th, and the 7th. I like that, just that little 3rd step up on the top line. I think that works, that's nice. Right, and then we're back to our root, our lovely minor root, so we're just going to go ahead and do 3rd, 5th, 7, then root, and then 2 and 3. Nice. And then I think we can keep that 3rd in the top line, that'll be really nice. We're on the 5, that one. Okay, that's nice. So minor 3rd, 5th, 7, root, 3rd, 5th. That absolutely works. Let me just go ahead and save time and copy this over here. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, and then we're going up to the 7, of course we are. Sorry, I've forgotten what I've even written. Ridiculous. Right, let's take this up. Yeah, there we go. For those who haven't seen the stream before, it's not just me doing this random doodle for hours and hours and hours. At the hour mark, so at 6 o'clock British Standard Time, we'll listen to a little bit of unreleased music. And it's going to be a bit different this week as well. Not fully formed ideas this time. I wanted to kind of bounce some work in progresses so you guys can see what an early song sounds like. And I mean like super early, like I've only worked on these for the last day or so, like really, really super early. So it's going to be very different, but there'll be quite a few of them, which will be really nice. Right. I'm not sure about the 7 on that. Let's see if it works. Too jazzy. Too jazzy. Nice. However, we can definitely do it here. Look at those false relations. Lovely. Maybe not so much. That's the wrong chord. Holy shit. Wow, that was so bad. I was so cocky as well. I was like, oh yeah, look at him. Oh, so nice. Jesus, there they are. Better. Ridiculous. That was just so terrible. And it's all on film. Wonderful. This is going to be archived and put on YouTube. My horrendous failure for all to see. That's much nicer. There we go. Same chord again, isn't it? Yeah, so let's just copy that in. Bam, and bam. Beautiful. Good, good, good. Let's get that in there. Let's take this down, and what I'm going to do is add a low-pass sweep just on that little bar, just to make sure that it transfers out of the hill well. There we go, all the way up. And tell you what, we don't need this. I think we just stop on the previous kick. Yeah, definitely just stop on the previous kick. That's a much better idea. There, there, and there. See, when you're writing songs, don't be afraid to change things up on the fly. Okay. Okay, that is sounding okay, but obviously impossibly thin. So we need to beat this up with some layers, don't we? First things first, because it's bass music, we need sub bass, and we need it now. We need it bad. Sub with octave, you're a nice little patch. Basically, if you're making a sub, producers of the world, don't overcomplicate it. A sine wave will do absolutely fine, thanks. A little bit of pitch attack, that wouldn't go amiss, and just take up the pitch envelope as well. Right, let's copy these down so I can get a handle note-wise. First few chords aren't actually going to be particularly strong, I don't think, sub-region wise, but we can deal with it. That's fine. That should be isolated. Yeah, that's an isolated subline, lovely. But way too low, so let's take you up to D sharp number 2. That should be about right. Much beefier. Lovely. Get this through the side chaining, not the pad bus, and we should be okay. Let's have a listen. Right, now what you will notice on our frequency spectrum, if I take it to the master section, is we're going to have a big old gap here. Like the kick's hitting here, but there's no bass information. So once the kick's gone, there's nothing. Look at this. Nothing. Nothing at all. So we need basses. One thing we could do, which could be interesting, is like a Reese. Could do a Reese sound. Or maybe some kind of wobble patch. Wobble could be interesting. I want to try a wobble patch. Let's load in like a basic wobble template and edit it up and see what we can get bass-wise. All-purpose wobble, actually. That's nice and easy. Obviously, this is not going to be the final sound because this is not going to fit at all, but this is what all-purpose wobble patch sounds like. That's not going to be helpful, really, is it? Right, let's go ahead and bring the filter to decay down. Good lord, that's a silly. You got something, man. Let's see what happens, shall we? Who knows if this is going to turn out nice. There you go, there's your bass house bass. And just like that, you can make pretty much any Jaws song. Right. Or at least any old Jaws song, not now that he's gone weird, happy, clappy, future bass thing. Let's play around with this, shall we? Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna shut up and edit this randomly. Just turn some dials until we know what's up. Kind of dig that, actually. Like having a very discernible note around it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Alex. I mean, it's not, but it's sounding good for something we've made in 20 minutes for sure. We could get like old school on this, just have that underneath it. Like, I like that when you take all the distortion away, you're still left with that kind of fundamental on top. Yeah, that's cool. However, I'm not a big fan of the way that moves. I like a little bit of movement, but not too much. Let's add some chorus to this. Nah, chorus is ruining it. It's naff. That's pretty cool though. What happens if we just push that analog oscillator higher? No, too much. Down there it actually turns into a full-on dubstep bass. Nah, I liked it where we had it. Cool, because then what I'm going to do is have this actually pretty low in the mix. It's just going to be fleshing out kind of this range. So all of this can go. And then I'm just going to smooth out some of that and bring most of this down. Better. Tell you what, let's put some EQ on this as well. And then we can layer this in and see what happens. I actually quite like that overtone, weirdly, now that I hear it. I'm just going to have it. That's where it needs to be. Good lord. Cool. That's nice. Let's go ahead and put this on. This is just going to lend us some power without complicating matters. There won't be a lot of character, but it'll be power. Just to round out that low end as well, we're going to use the patch that we always use, our lovely targeted noise one. Terraform, there we go. Same basic kind of premise, but we're actually just targeting a very specific band of frequencies this time instead of the much more weird range over here that we then fine-tune. We're actually just going to target exactly what we choose on this filter. Oh, would you look at this? Twen is adding new things to our Dropbox live on the stream. Let's see what's going on with this. Can we add anything new to that? I don't think we need to. Okay, let's bring this down. Oh, Twen, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You up to? That definitely works. Right, this is missing some... Jesus, Twen is just going at it at my Dropbox. I don't know what is going on. Okay, let's go ahead and load in some high-end, for sure, using our traditional Euphoria patch, I think. I think that's going to be useful. Let's go ahead and load in. Yep, that would be it. Twen has just sent me a message saying he's loading in new stuff for a song. Doesn't realise I'm streaming at the moment. Helpful. Let's go ahead and put stab pads on and just copy these down. Might be a bit weird, but let's check where it's at. Yeah, see, that is the region that we wanted, definitely. I'm just going to scoop out a little bit of this, keep it nice and clean, and just shelve a little bit of that. Bring it down. Up the reverbs a touch for sure. I don't want that pre, God no. There we go, and let's pop this on and see what happens. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to do the same low passes on this plate reverb because you can just hear it popping through, which is not ideal. When we filter everything else down and then the reverb that we're sending everything through is still completely unfiltered, that's not a good sound. So let's go ahead and put this up there. I mean, you can do weird things with it for sure, but for this, we're going to full stop. That's pretty cool. That's neat. Oh, that's why nothing else is going through. I'm such an idiot. I did it on the... Oh, no, I did do it on the bus. Okay. Okay, something weird is just happening with it. Don't know why it's doing that, but you know what? We will persevere. This needs like a focal lead point, and I know just the kind of patch that we can use for it. So I'm just going to load in... Oh, squelching, that's nice. I made this a couple of weeks ago, it's pretty cool. Based on a patch from a track of mine called Miami. Man, he just made this new song using notification sound. I really could do, actually. That could be fun. I think we could do that next week if we sample the Windows 10 notification sound and just chuck it in like a stop somewhere instead of a bass fill. That could be really cool. I'm big into doing that. I like doing weird hidden Easter eggs that no one will pick up on. Right. Let's process this. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's put this as like a nice distorted layer that can go on top of the main pad. So first things first, it's got to go through our sends. Nice. Definitely a lot of delay, but now we're going to get weird with it. I think we just uber-saturate this and then reverb it to smooth it off. So we get that kind of like overdriven sound. But this is going to create horrible mud here. Look at this. We don't need any of this. That's nonsense. Get it away. Get it away from our lovely sparkly lead line. Okay, let's go ahead and... yeah, there we go. Put the insert pre and that should fix that problem. Cool, kind of fixed it. Let's just take it down a notch. And then... oh, I'm going to put some chorus on it, actually. Chorus is very nice on these. Especially this chorus. This is a lovely, lovely sound. That's definitely too wide. Yeah, just like underneath that. That's a cool sound. Right, and now I think the final touch. Lots and lots of reverb. Definitely a cool sound, not quite as overdriven as I was wanting actually. Like it's a little tame. So let's change that. Let's get weird with it. Let's band split it and distort the high bands. Because that would be very entertaining to me. You don't know that you just massively screamed on stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what?
Thinking about that all day.
My roommate is home from work and has just screamed delightfully as he does every time he enters the house, which is wonderful. Right, let's take this damage control up and actually root up this piece of shit because I totally forgot to. There we go. Good, good, good. That is probably going to be too high weighted, so this is going to break your ears, and for that I'm sorry. That's a very disturbing sound. Let's just back the hell up on that and maybe put this pre-reverb. That's definitely a nicer sound, like that. We just need to get rid of some of this, I think. Just a little bit of this gone. There we go. Duck it down. Beautiful, that's much, much better. Right, now we can start seeing if this will work over this. So we're in G minor, right? Not sure on the lead line yet, I'm just going to dick around and see what happens. And going up the octave is definitely the way forward on it. But I'm not amazingly sold. It could work with some levels, with some level adjustment. I think that could definitely work. That could be really nice. Captain Iron is back. Hello, nice to see you again, man. How are things going? We're making some weird melodic dubstep. I don't know what's happening. Right, let's try and fit this in. Something like that could work. That little descending like 3-2-7 sound is. I know it's a crutch, and I know I use it a lot. How much have I missed? About 40 minutes worth, I guess, maybe 35 minutes worth. Not too much. We have just been randomly doodling some stuff. Not missed any unreleased music. That's always the fun bit. Right, let's go ahead and sort this lead out. But don't worry, any of you have missed will be archived on Twitch and on YouTube as well.
Yes!
Yes, sir!
Oh.
Yeah! I love doing that. I can plug whatever I want, and he could just wander past and just be so enthused about any of it. It's excellent. Right. No, too high. That's better. So definitely up there and then down. Da, da. I do love that. I do love that little pattern, that little cluster. It's all over it. Bass Boost is back in, and he got here before the unreleased music this time. Welcome, man. Nice to have you on stream. That definitely needs to be later. Round about there, I think, if my ear is correct. Actually, let's just have you on snare. On snare is definitely better. And also, poised to take over on fleek is the new slang phrase among kids, I'm pretty sure. Right, let's go ahead and maybe take this down after that phrase. There we go. See, that's the beauty about music production. This by itself sounds completely over-distorted, but in the mix, lovely. It's about knowing how it's going to sit with everything else rather than the sound in isolation. That could be nice. And then if we leap all the way back up to the 7, that could be nice. There we go. Let's see how that works. Actually, I quite like the idea of just looping that phrase. That's pretty cool. There. Actually need this back here. I'm such a fool. There we go. Done and dusted. Da-da. There we go, and bring you back. And then just copy you over again and see how we'll round this phrase off. Right. And I kind of like the idea of copying it again, but like changing up the last note, so you're like teasing the ear. You're just like, oh yeah, I know what's gonna cut, and then you just divert back down the other way. That could be really nice. Just resolve on the 3. Yeah, but resolve on the 3 while it's the 5 and the bass, so it's gonna sound kind of dissonant, but in a nice way. Let's copy that back over. I think we have our lead line now, and now we can start fleshing out with arps and get some weird sounds going. Definitely need elevation hats there for sure, so let's add in some 16ths, because 16ths are always fun. Nice short ones though, crisp short hats. You know how much I love the crisp short ones. Right. For anyone just joining the stream, by the way, have no fear, this is not something that I've poured my heart and soul into and expect you to unconditionally gush over with praise. This is something that I have been working on literally since the stream began, because that's what we do here. We randomly doodle a song for an hour. If it's good, great. If it's not, great. They're all going to go in the bin either way, probably. But it's a fun little exercise. It enables me to hang out with some cool people. And then we'll listen to some unreleased music come 6 o'clock. That's always fun. Right. I need short, snappy. That one. That one works. Good, good. Let's just go ahead and do straight 16ths with you, and then we'll do like trap sprinkler hats later once we copy it back over. Oh, it could be nice to do like a kind of beatdown sound after this section. That could be cool. Like constant kicks and constant sidechain. I'd be into that. I think this is our hat bus, so let's take you in and see what happens. That's kind of really nice. I really dig that. Let's go ahead and move this all the way over here again. But you know what we need? We need some bass sounds that I've made. What could be fun is, tell you what, should we just synthesize one very quickly? Let's go and get like a basic patch, because I always use the samples that I've made. I never actually just randomly make a new one. So let's make one. This is going to take a surprising amount of time considering we're streaming, but you know what? Fuck it. It's going to be fun. That's not what I meant though. What I wanted was, if we get basic high rhythm maelstrom and get weird with it. So this is a pretty shitty sound by the start of it. But we can do something very, very odd with it. So first things first, I'm going to take sync off and then get the rate coming all the way down like that, which is a really nice sound. If it starts too fast for its own good and then comes down, that'll be good for me. Right, there we go, all the way down. Let's just kind of see how that does, and then we'll change the sound up. That's about the right kind of speed, I think. I think I want a little bit more fast, and then it needs to slow down quicker. There we go. That's nice. I can definitely roll with that. Now we need to actually change the sound. So it's actually a really simple patch. We've just got a basic sawtooth multiplied by 4, and then on top is this kind of just like weird timbre, which is very bizarre, but we're going to change that up a little bit, I think. And then underneath it, just a couple of sine waves for some sub. And then it's being volume automated. That's literally it at the moment, but we're going to get weirder with it, I think. First things first, let's sine shape this. Because that's always fun. In fact, that's really fun. Ooh. But let's just randomly change the waveform. Look how many we've got to choose from. What could we do here? What could be weird? Could just put it on square or something, but that's no fun. How about we do Zaffoon? Yes. Zaffoon! It's coming back, man. That's pretty nice. Sorry, this is going to be a really weird stream for the next couple of minutes while I change this up. Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty meaty, but then let's take you down a little bit. Or, let's not. Oh, that's too high. That's pretty cool. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch bend down alongside it, just all the way down alongside that rate decrease, and then we're going to distort the shit out of this and move some filters on it. That is a cool sound. I don't think you can deny that's a cool sound. Just needs a little bit of fine tuning. This needs to come up. Yeah. Actually, let's take you up an octave again. Yeah, that's nicer for sure. Wacky sound that is. It's a wacky sound, but you know what? You know I'm all about the wacky. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone use the word wacky since the 90s, I don't think. That's very refreshing. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and just put in a note, and then we can start processing that sound. Sorry, this has taken the wind totally out of my sails compositionally. I know I shouldn't have made it. This is why we use samples on streams. Because it's just much easier and quicker and enables me to write a song more fully. But I figured this might be a little bit more interesting. That's nice, but now we're losing a little bit. There we go. That's much better. Now we can start processing this bitch up. So, first things first, we need to distort the hell out of this. But how, you ask? Well, the same way we did it about 10 minutes ago. We're just going to band split it and put some tape distortion on our high end for sure. Let's take up that, bring that down. There we go. Now, however, we're left with this, which nobody wants anywhere. Let's just take that down. It's a little better. However, what I want to do is bring up this sub level. That's not even remotely coming through because I'm not playing it. Excellent. There's the sub power. And I'm just going to change this to like a square 4, I think. And that will give us a little bit of low thickness. Very, very nice. Can I can. Let's just go ahead and up that a little bit. See, this is why I love Reason Man. It simulates a real rack, so I can just drag wires wherever the hell I choose. Yeah, that's a little meatier. There we go. Jalex, you. So sorry. Hello and goodbye. Jesus, man, that's a new record for you. I know you usually don't stick around too long, but that's impressive. Lovely to have you in for the brief few seconds we did have you, man. There we go. That's pretty cool. Right, let's go ahead and EQ it, and then we'll reverb it out, and then we've got a pretty cool sound. And then I'll very quickly flesh out the arrangement before we listen to some unreleased music. That'll be really fun. Right, for anyone who missed it earlier, basically unreleased music this week is going to be weird. I'm going to do like really early looks at stuff, and I'm talking like stuff I've only spent maybe like the last couple of days on, as in like I've made all of these in the last couple of days, so it could be very interesting. Let's just go ahead and give it a little bit of warmth down there. There we go, and now we can start reverbing. Let's use SAR again because it's a cool sound. I like putting a natural sounding room reverb on unnatural sounds. It creates this really weird sense of like something that's completely alien but like in your room. It's really weird. Let's go ahead and put that down a touch. There we go. Yeah, that's a really cool sound. And then last but not least, before the filter, I just want to go ahead and do a little bit of a filter sweep up. There we go, there we go. And yeah, sure, let's do that. Let's just bring that there. Actually, that's still too extreme for me. I think I want it in earlier. There we go. So like more of an extreme filter, but less time. Yeah, that's a weird sound. So weird. Right. I just saw someone in chat saying, ow, my ears. Yeah, sorry, man. That's entirely my bad. I did that to you. Right, let's go ahead and take this out. There we go. Right, now we've got an entire 32 bar drop, but it needs automating and changing up. So first things first, we're going to need faster trap hats here for sure. Let's just very quickly make a sprinkler pattern because it shouldn't take too long. Again, this is kind of the theme of this week. I'm just doing things a little bit more long-winded, not using pre-made samples that I've done before, just to kind of flesh it out a little bit, make it a little bit different. So 64ths? Yeah, 64ths, why not? Okay, let's zoom in on this. 64ths, then back to 16ths.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sure, that'll work. There. Yeah, that's a nice little roll. And then just lots of 32ths, I think, for a little while. Actually, even longer than that. Even longer than that. But wait, there's more. Let's load these back in there. That's definitely cool with me. Let's just make a small 2-bar loop and then just copy and paste it because you know what? I'm really lazy today. It's like, how about your older music? Any plans on when to release songs like Miami and Unrepeated? Don't worry, the Ghost Year. They are coming, I promise. I am in love with those songs. I ain't about to let them fall by the wayside. We are currently planning things, I promise. Kind of. Basically, we're like getting a little collection of stuff together that include all of those. Because honestly, like you've seen how many songs I've been teasing the last few months, and it is a lot. So we're kind of packaging them all up into EPs, singles, like small 4 tracks, bigger album kind of length things, and deciding where to put them all. So I promise they will come soon. I think Miami actually might be a single out relatively quickly because for the life of me I can't think about how that's going to sit on like on an album or an EP. It's a bit of a weird track and it kind of doesn't fit with most of the other stuff. It's a little bit too, let's be honest here, happy. Like the rest of the songs are so fucking emo, man. Oh dear. Right, let's go ahead and change things up here. I think I want arps here. Let's just very quickly do some arps for elevation. That'd be really, really nice. Okay. What am I going to do with this? Let's synthesize it. Why not? Combinator. Let's make a Thor very quickly. Same kind of process that we did a few weeks ago. Let's leave it on... No, let's put it on square. Move the pulse up. Leave it there. Filter all the way up. Let's go ahead and put an FM pair on it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Take it through. Perfect. Excuse me while I take a sip of water because my head is fucking killing me because I've been making music all day, battering my ears with these kind of sounds. Right, let's go ahead and filter drive it for sure because that's always a fun sound. Filter drive, please, by 3060 dB because why not? Let's take this all the way down and let's go ahead and high pass it. Much better. This, way too much. No one needs that. Nobody needs that in their life. Let's get it out. Much better. I didn't arpeggiate it. Let's go ahead and just shove on very quickly. Reading devices, RP8. Better. And now I can just go ahead and turn the Thor off. Boop. Good. I love how easy it is to play the Final Fantasy VII theme tune in that. Let's just put it on 4 octaves. Hey, let me go down a little bit. That's nice. And then all the way down to... Wait, where is it? A? There we go. See, I'm a keyboard genius. Right, let's go ahead and put this on 2 octaves, both up and down, and get it really fucking fast. That's better. That's better. Now we've got an arpeggio. Yo, Taz is in. What's up, man? Nice to see you. A little bit mysterious for what I'm working on. Let's go ahead and just reverb that out, and then we'll just get a nice overall tone to it. If I go up an octave, actually. Oh, that's so Muse. I love it. Right, let's go ahead and reverb the shit out of this. Because you know how I love this reverb device. There we go. Low cut. There we go. Oh, it's pretty. It's pretty. However, have I routed that up weirdly? No, all seems fine. Oh, that's why. That's me being very silly. That's going into the distortion. I really should put that post distortion. Sorry. Head is not where it used to be. Much prettier. See, little routing issues like that can kill a sound. Just as quickly as you thought you managed to get it sorted. Sounds very Alien-esque. Yeah, I can see that. Right, now what we need to do is, to be fair, this cut here, I think we're having a character. There we go. Let's just go ahead and just like, yeah, sort out. No one needs any of that, but maybe I was too harsh on you. You can stay. Right, now we're up there, so if I go, that could be really nice. However, I might put you on down. There we go. And then we can just kind of flesh that out there. Put you through side chaining. There we go. Side chaining. Let's high pass it again. Very nice, very nice. Put you through our sends from earlier. Good, good. Now, let's see how this goes. Yeah, let's put that in and then change it up. Change up the bottom note every so often. There we go. Nice little cluster like we were working with earlier. That's 3, 2, 7, and 5. Done and dusted. again. Whoops, not there. Copy it, put it there. Done, dusted. Good. We have ourselves a nice sound that we can then duplicate. Bam. We can then bust together. We can then spread left and right. We can then high pass it. Bam, bam. Sorry, moving a little quickly. Let's go ahead and just bring this down a notch. Just go ahead and bring this up a little bit now that we've got that reverb dampening it all. And then put it through our room reverb. Bring it down a touch, and then just go into this patch and detune it slightly. So I'm just going to detune it there, move that up there, and detune that over there. And we should have a nice kind of well-rounded sound. It definitely needs to go away in that gap because that is obnoxious as anything. There we go. That's cool. I like that. Now I'm just going to reverse all the filters down here. And then we need to change up this bass sound just for this last second. So start higher, come down a little bit, bring it down a touch. There we go. Just these little subtle things is going to help. Let's reverse that actually. That could be cool. And then I want to change up the oscillator a little bit. I'm just going to move the shift of the xylophone. By the way, if you don't know what a xylophone is, that's fine. No one does. Cat 9. It makes me imagine being on a walking spaceship and watching the stars shoot past. Yeah, I'm with you on that actually. It's super sci-fi. I do get that. It's that kind of like down, down, down. The constant like beat on the on beat really drives home the rhythm of it. That's really nice. Holy shit, it's 6 o'clock already. I think that means it's time to stop. Stop the clock. Right, let's into what we've got. This kind of came around. This turned out all right. A little slow to start, but I've got an enormous headache. It's been a long day. I think this is okay. Arps definitely sell it to me. That's really nice. I think with vocals on this could be really nice, and this lead definitely works for me. Something I will very quickly do. I know this is technically cheating. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. Duplicate tracks and devices. Bam. Bam, 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 and then just here, I want to go ahead and just bring this down an octave. Boop, just double up the lead, and then bring it down, and kind of scoop out a little bit of that, and much more of that. Bam, sorted. Okay, let's have a listen through what we got, and then let's listen to some weird works in progress, shall we? Because that'd be really fun. Don't know what this is going to be, but it's kind of nice. Let's find some vocals for it at some point. Cool. I dig that actually. That's not too bad. Let's extend that out just to make me a little bit less OCD about that. What that was missing was effects. I totally forgot to put on any sweeps or reverses or anything to tide over those really boring transitions. So it's just this bar of silence, just nothing. But hey, what can you do? We made it in an hour. I think that's pretty acceptable. That's not too bad. And, you know, all things considered, I think we're okay. Let's go ahead and save that up. Why not? How it does need a name, and you know I'm terrible with this. So, draw, Anki, stream, tracks. Right, it was week 9, that's what it was. Right, stream, track, 9. Oh god, no, caps lock, no. Stream, track, 9. Just call this Anki in space. There we go. Pure 70s vibe. Done. Sorted. That wasn't too bad. I think that could have gone a lot worse. I definitely prefer it to the weird Chainsmokers ripoff that we did last week. For sure. I need a palette cleanser. Okay, let's close you down. Let's get rid of Launchy. No one needs Launchy. It sounds amazing what you made. Thank you, man. To be fair though, when you make as much music as I do, something that you make in an hour can have a lot of holes that you want to just dive in and fix. But that's kind of nice. It's what these streams force me to do, is stop being such a perfectionist all the time and is kind of just go like, oh no, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be all right. There are people watching. Don't be weird. So let's listen to works in progress. So as I said earlier, usually what we do is we listen to some like completely finished tracks that are going to be coming out soon or relatively soon. And that's usually really fun. But something I want to do this week was just like take a much earlier look at stuff so you can hear how it like evolves over the week. So I think that'll be pretty cool. That'll be pretty neat. So there's going to be a few. They're not going to be very good, but they're going to be interesting. And then I'm going to end on one that I was working on yesterday, and pretty much literally only yesterday, but it's come together really, really nicely, and I've got a full arrangement for that. There's no vocals on any of these yet, so I don't really know how this is going to go. First things first, though, I want to cleanse my palette. This is done, which is really nice. It's literally just a nice little bit of piano called 22. Means quite a lot to me. This is going to be nestled in an EP somewhere for sure. This is just a nice, relaxing piano-only song to cleanse our palette and make sure we're nice and relaxed, and then we'll bring the energy back up with some of these ones. So yeah, this is called 22. This is going to be out pretty soon. And yes, that is a Horizon Zero Dawn background. Good catch, Ghost. Yeah. Let's relax with some piano. Let's do that. That last little note always gets me. That's nice. That's what I needed. That yeah, that's called 22. That's going to be out when I have an EP plan for some of this other stuff, because it's kind of not something you can release as a single. That's got to be nestled around other tracks. But got a lot of meaning that I'll probably go into in another stream. But we got a lot to get through. But yeah, that was nice. That's always good. Yeah, as a piano player myself, this track really appeals to me. Oh, that's cool. That was played in by me, hence why it's quite so sloppy. And weirdly mic'd up as well on the like simulation of it. It's a bit odd. Right, let's see what could be next. That to end on for sure. Let's do a couple of 150 ones. That'd be nice. Oh yeah, I've got a few actually. This could be fun. Let's stop it there. This is a collaboration I'm going to be doing with a very talented young man called Azura. Really cool guy. Kind of started messaging back and forth a little while back, and I sent him a very quick idea, and then he kind of sent me this intro, and literally only had about an hour or two a couple of days ago to try and flesh some of this out, but it could turn out pretty nice. Super raw though, so bear that in mind. Only included like a little bit of it, but this is going to be pretty damn cool. Not got a name yet, but there's going to be a collaboration with Azura coming out relatively soon. Hopefully I can get this tidied up this week. That'd be nice. But yeah, have a listen. That last noise, man. Oh, I forgot about that bass. It's so stupid. That's made from a sample of a chicken. Really, really dumb. But cool. I enjoy that. That's gonna then flesh out into kind of like another second half of the drop there with a nice piano lead that we've used back here. And then I've got ideas for a second drop as well, but that should get fleshed out pretty quick. Obviously, like I said, way more raw than any other stuff I've shown you guys, so all those mix issues and stuff will be fixed, but could turn out pretty cool. I really enjoy that one. What is tell you what, let's keep on the 150 bounce. I enjoy that. Oh yeah, let's do this. This is so early on, but I like it. This is really basic as shit. I just really enjoy the melody on it because it reminds me of like proper like heads up, Jesus, hands up like 90s rave bangers. It's like a 3/16 saw plug. So this I reckon is going to turn out like forever. As you can see, like right before the drop, there's a big gap of silence where I haven't done anything yet, and the drop kind of doesn't have the main lead in yet. I want to do like forever, just like kind of have one vocal clip that will just kind of wash over transitions. Anyway, yeah, no idea what this is going to be called. This is going to be really cool though, I think. This is going to be a good banger. I'll play up to like here or so because this is basically the same drop just with a different chord sequence or so. This could be cool. Just no idea what this is going to be yet. It could be interesting. Enjoy. Catchy as hell, mate. Yeah, that'd be really nice. Kind of like, kind of reminds me of like Louder by DJ Fresh. I reckon I could get something in there. That'd be really nice. That's gonna turn out really cool, I think. Like over here, we change up the chord sequence a little bit, so it's the same lead line but like different bass notes. Turns into like a proper hands up banger there. That's really cool. So yeah, I think then there, what I'm gonna do is get lots of weird bass sounds and just go fucking mad with it. That could end up being really cool, I think. Much more of a mainstream one though. Sounds nice little lifting. Thanks, man. Oh, that's nice to see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Wave right now. Alex, what have you been doing? Full Queen comfort sheets. Tell you what, live on stream. Let's see what you were doing, shall we? Let's name and shame you. Looking at some... Oh, very nice. Oh, how quaint. I think you should get them in the red. I think that's going to look lovely, Alex. Beautiful. Perfect. Sorry, dude. Right, tell you what. One more in that style, and then I'm going to play what I want to end on. This actually has a name, because I know the lyrics that I want to use for it, but it's kind of exactly the same vibe as the last one we just played. This is going to be called Break Your Fall, because I had lyrics that were called that. For what eventually became Midnight, because Hikari got on that and did amazing vocals. So I'm going to use those on this, which are going to fit pretty well, I think. But obviously, no vocals on it yet, and it's so damn raw. But it could turn out really nicely. This whole section is going to need lyrics over it. And then this is kind of like the chorus area, chorus build kind of thing. But let's see what goes on with this. I wrote the name Let's Go for that one. Good work, to be honest. It's got that kind of vibe to it, hasn't it? Right, this is called Break Your Fall. This is going to get finished up quickly. I'm already feeling this one. So let's see what's going on with it. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, so vocals all over this bit, for sure. Oh, this has a huge snare on it, I forgot about that. Over that like second half section, I'm definitely going to have the vocals from back here over it again. But yeah, that's going to be cool. Really feeling that. That snare is ridiculous. I can clear a room. That's just so strong. Love that. It's really nice. Right, now the one that I'm like definitely feeling, because this has a name and a full arrangement and everything. However, the mix is terrible, so don't judge the mix, please. I'm going to fix everything, I promise. This is something that I was like really banging my head up against. Like I had the melody idea and nothing else for a good couple of days, and I couldn't make it work. I couldn't fix it. It was really annoying. But finally, like last couple of days, I knuckled down and actually got something for it, and then the entire arrangement kind of happened. There are some bits that are going to be really boring, like this bit over here without vocals, because I haven't recorded any of them yet, but I have like half the lyrics done. Hoping going to record it the weekend or something. This is going to be really cool. It's called Enjoy the Show. I want to end on this because it's just happy. It's just so happy. So needlessly happy. Lots of vox chops, lots of silliness. So yeah, enjoy it, man. This has been really nice. This is going to be called Enjoy the Show. Might be a single. I think this could be a It could be a nice, easy, quick release before the end of the year rather than trying to bundle it in with an EP. But I'll see what my manager's saying and see how it fits with the rest of the tracks we've got on the go. All like 25 of them. Yeah, enjoy. I'm gonna be dancing like a dick to this. So nice. This is the bit that needs vocals like the most. Really, really boring. That lead line kills me, that's so nice. Nothing here again. That's such an unceremonious way to end, but I kind of don't want to change it. That's fun. Oh, that's a fun track. Yeah, man, I dig that. Those lead lines, gonna be so fun to like try and play live. I really want to find a way of doing that. That's gonna be good. I really enjoy that. Right, I need to run away. This has been really fun because God, I need to eat, and I want to go hang out with my lovely roommates who have just come back and are currently playing Bioshock just through the other room. And frankly, I want to see what's going on. Oh, it looks exciting. thank you very much for tuning in. This has been really fun. If you missed any of it, feel free to pop onto youtube.com/AnkiMusic, I think is now the correct URL. I think we finally got that. So all of the Twitch archives are on there, including this one. It's been really, really fun. I will see you next week where we're going to do some more weird music. For now, I'm going to go watch the Nintendo Switch reveal probably about 8 more times, just to see what I've missed. Pleasure having you all here. See you later.